In the name of Allah, the most gracious, the most merciful. Peace be upon you. So finally, what was expected has happened. J.D. Vance has now returned, and the Iranian delegation has also gone back. The kind of actions that took place made it obvious that the negotiations would collapse, and that's exactly what happened. The talks have completely failed, 100%. Because in reality, these negotiations were never meant to succeed. Now J.D. Vance is saying that the conditions they had set were accepted by Iran, and that talks continued for 21 hours, but after that, everything fell apart. Following this, Donald Trump has now begun preparations for war. Just imagine what has actually happened here. What kind of spectacle was this? You can understand the situation from the fact that the United States has already dispatched cargo planes to the Middle East, military equipment, missiles, and more. An attack could happen at any moment. And Iran is already fully prepared. This war, it seems, is not going to stop. The reason? The conditions presented in the negotiations were not America's own, they were essentially the demands of Israel. Benjamin Netanyahu openly appeared during the talks and declared that he was ready to attack Iran, its proxies, Lebanon, and Yemen. So tell me, does the United States have the authority to negotiate independently without Israel's influence? The conditions presented included complete destruction of Iran's nuclear facilities, handing over uranium, no discussion on Lebanon, and control over the Strait of Hormuz. A long list of demands was placed before Iran. Iran rejected all of it outright. Iran has officially stated in its media that it has no intention of continuing talks with the United States anytime soon. They said they are in no hurry. Meanwhile, the US insists Iran should accept its terms. Iran responded, "Go tell Trump, if he accepts, fine. If not, our weapons are ready. Our missiles are ready. We are fully prepared for war. And we can fight a longer war than you can." They warned that the consequences would be unimaginable. At this point, Iran says it is prepared for severe retaliation. This conflict has already had a negative impact inside the United States. Prices are rising, and expectations from these negotiations were high. Now, with both delegations gone, the stock market is expected to crash when it opens. As soon as negotiations failed, military cargo planes were deployed to the region. One of the main issues was the demand for Iran to hand over its uranium. Iran questioned, why should it do that? Why not address Israel's nuclear program as well? Israel is believed to have over 90 nuclear warheads, yet no one is willing to discuss that. Iran argues that the global opinion is largely against Israel due to its actions, yet pressure is only being applied to Iran. Iran, which refused to give up nuclear material even when it was weaker in the past, is even less likely to do so now when it considers itself stronger. Iran has declared that it will not give up control over the Strait of Hormuz. The core dispute revolves around 2 or 3 main points: handing over nuclear material, control of the Strait of Hormuz, trust deficit with the United States. Iran has openly called the US unreliable and accused it of repeating past behavior. Their message is clear: negotiations are over, now missiles will speak. They say, we talked today. Now our missiles will respond. According to this narrative, the war is now inevitable and could become extremely intense. Countries will have to decide which side they stand on. There were attempts, such as from Pakistan, to push for sincere negotiations, but those efforts collapsed after Israel's intervention and threats of attack. The claim is that whenever Netanyahu chooses, he can escalate the situation, and no one in the US establishment can go against him. Meanwhile, large numbers of American troops, weapons, and supplies are being moved. Iran's broader strategy appears to involve pushing the US out of the region, especially from Gulf bases, and then negotiating with regional powers like China and Russia. Iran believes that even if US forces remain, they can target them whenever they choose. At the same time, Iran points out what it sees as hypocrisy, criticizing China for supporting Iran, while the US supports Ukraine and Israel with weapons, intelligence, and advanced systems like fighter jets. According to this perspective, Iran is unconcerned and fully ready for war, just as it was before. And in their view, as long as leaders like Netanyahu do not want peace, negotiations will never succeed.